Alright, so because of the fact that I am a lazy piece of crap, I am going to do things in the most vanilla way possible because I have demonstrated that it's been too long and I don't remember how this game works. So we are going to create basically the most generic OP light side party that you can create. Reasonably sure that this is pretty well and truly optimal.
You choose.
Don't pick me for your what could go wrong.
Come on, pick me.
Pick me.
And we're gonna get ash core.
Pick me. You want to ride high? Ride with me.
And we will get the next character.
Pick me. Oh, pick me. Choose me.
Thief. Who would be a thief? I could make Relin.
Hey, right here, Chief. Oh, come take.
I will.
Don't leave, please.
How about me? I can do it.
Goblin thief.
Choose me.
Who would be a thief that's a goblin though? Oh, I can make Lyric, kind of. Except Lyric is really more of a spellcaster. He's an acrobat though, close enough, right? Close enough for that to work. Sorcerer is gonna be.
Please.
I will.
Pick me.
Let's make.
I'll be helpful. Please. Oh, come on. Hey, right here,
Probably make
Chief.
it an elf of some
Oh,
sort.
come on. Pick me.
So let's make it Nora.
Please.
And we will give her.
Pick me. Pick me for your part. Pick me. Pick me. I'm the one you want. Pick me. Pick me. Don't leave home without. Please choose me. Oh, come on. Choose me.
We'll go with this one, I think.
Pick me for your what could go wrong.
Alright, so we're going to go with that one because I think that those are different voices. I can't tell these voices apart. Let's see here. So we're going to drop our unimportant stats down. And we are going to start pumping the important stats. We are going to just pump speed and might to max. We're going to use the double points to get as many points as possible. And we don't need to drop that one. Personality, though, and we don't need. Okay, so we can pump her up to at least 17. The sorcerer is going to need to be pumped eventually. And let's see. What do we got here? We got a few different points left. I'm gonna just put 2 points in each of them. Done. Spirit of Mind Magic, sound like a plan? Yeah, let's do it. And anything else that we should be doing? We could pick up Learning instead. Because Mind Magic in particular is not terribly important right now. I think I'm actually going to do that. We're going to go with Spirit and Learning instead. It's actually tempting to just do Meditation and Learning, honestly, because this will allow me to use Bless right off the bat. Bless is useful right off the bat. So, do we want Bodybuilding? We want Spear. Can I get Spear with you? I cannot get Spear with a Rogue. Okay, we're going to pick up Sword, because Swords are way better. I don't need Disarm Trap immediately, so I'm instead going to pick up Identify Item. I'm not. I'm actually going to pick up Merchant instead. So the Sorcerer can pick up Earth and Water, which will be valuable. Do I want to be using a stick? This means that I don't have access to air magic off the bat, so I'd actually have to spend a considerable amount. So never mind. We're going to go with air, and can I do learning? I cannot do learning. Water. And you will do... You've already got merchant. Spear. It's chain. I don't know, maybe I should just go with bodybuilding. Okay, I'll go with bodybuilding for the hell of it. And we got everybody set up. So the advantage of this party for light side is that the light side, you really want to get the ability to get light magic. It's critically important to get that. Sorcerers give you access to the elemental spells. They give you access to Grandmaster and a variety of things that are very useful. Clerics give you Grand Mastery in body magic, which is important for protection from magic, preventing instigate mechanics. Sorcerers are important for a variety of reasons, and I could actually drop the sorcerer with me sitting on a thief here. I could drop the sorcerer in favor of an archer for this party if I wanted, but I'm basically just going with the full-on prototypical default party. Like, that's what I'm going with here. So this is, I feel, pretty much the archetypal party, and that's how we're going to roll this. Let's see. So we've got everything set, I think. We're ready to go. And we're going to roll in here and get things rolling. I figured out why it was that I didn't have the music earlier, and that was because I had actually turned it off while I was puttering around before.
Anyone thirsty?
So we've already got that. Let's see here. This is +3 accuracy. Let's give that to him because he has the highest damage output. He vaguely has the highest damage output. I guess he won't for long. He won't as soon as I get the finger. So get a stick on. Water resist. Do I want to? Yeah, I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna move this to him because he has a spear. The base stats difference won't matter as much once I get into this. All right, so we're moving in. We have 200 thinger on us. We can go ahead and spend that to get the membership to all the guilds. And we want to move quickly this time because I don't want to have to cheat. Do I want to do... I don't think I want to do the thing at level 1 anyway. So, pop over here. Okay, good luck for these two. I probably should have gotten the luck on the sorcerer as my secondary. That would have been a better choice, but it's fine. Either way, we're going to pop over here, grab this. And that gives us 1 grand, which we will then spend... I think we're going to spend that on getting learning on our rogue.
The Guild of the Spirit welcomes you.
Spirit, this is it, right?
Welcome to the Air Guild.
So we're popping learning. And now we're going to go up this cliff to get the thinger. So I want to spend the first bit of money that I have getting learning on everybody. I want to have learning on everybody before I take out the dragon, because I think that that's going to give me a huge boost to my overall EXP. So we are going to hit this button, and we are going to pop up here, and we are going to start murdering fireflies. So this is not the optimal route to come to deal with the fireflies. I'm going to aggro a shit ton of them by doing it this way all at once. That's what I have. I have the ability to take a look at what I've got coming my way.
That's just a scratch.
What a scratch.
All set. Why are you not working? Okay, need to be a bit faster. Okay, so turn around a bit.
That was easy. That one hurts.
Okay, we need to actually...
Yes.
This. That's a lot of friends. Holy shit.
Ah, what a scratch.
Okay, created a bigger problem for myself here than I had realized. I'm gonna have her heal herself.
Help!
That was too easy.
She's the only one who, if she gets knocked unconscious,
Ow!
can't be picked back up.
Ah, what a scratch.
So
That's
it's important to keep her up
Ow.
as long as possible. We're gonna get the hell out of here because
what a
these guys are causing problems for me. I aggroed way too many of these at the same time. Hopefully I can de-aggro some of them. Fine.
No problem.
Where are you? Oh shit, no! It looks like we've lost one of the fireflies over there. That's fine, it's only one. Generally speaking, that's not something I would normally allow, but I clearly screwed up. I'm not going to reload that. Okay, so in we go. Got a bunch of shit that we're going to give to the thief to sell. And we got a bunch of materials that I should have put on the sorcerer, because the sorcerer is the one who can actually use them. That was silly of me, but it's fine. So, we are now ready to... Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, shit! How did you get all the way over there? Oh, no. Okay, we're gonna restart. That's unacceptable. I can't get the peasantry killed. Okay, should I... Did I have an autosave? Is this the start of the game?
Can't wait to cast it. Can't wait to cast it.
Alright, let's... Rather than make a whole new party, I'll just do it this way. What was it? Keep that for yourself. And let's try doing this slightly more...
I learned it.
Slightly more good. And set here. Okay, so... Nope, 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 nope. You can shut the hell up. And let's see here. What do I want to do now? Okay, gotta get the luck thing. And then pick up the learning skill for one character.
Hello.
What did I just do? Did I just accept that wand? No, we're fine. Okay. So let's go grab the fountain. That'll get us a quick grand. Save the game. Let's call this Strongies, why not? So now if we have to reload, we can do it after the important part there. Do I want to... Yeah, I was thinking I'd go get the learning skill on 3 people, but... or sorry, on the first person, but... I am lazy. I like how the person with learning is the person who started with the least amount of experience. Let's see, we're gonna grab this. Then actually what I'm gonna do, I think I'm gonna come down this way. Because this kind of naturally funnels them a bit. So... I don't think this is a good idea. There's gonna be quite a lot here.
Killed it.
But it could end up turning back.
Ow. Ow. Ow.
Okay, so that one's toast. The problem is that the ones that come from this side.
No problem.
I want to get a decent collection of them coming my way, but I don't want the whole swarm at once. Basically. You know what I could do is I could use this thing in the middle here, but that's
That was easy.
okay. That was. Wow, I'm really fucking myself. Sorry.
That's just a scratch.
Yes.
That one hurts.
So I need to pull back. The problem is
Ow!
that
No
I
problem.
basically need to kill everything that I've aggroed here.
That was too.
No problem.
What a scratch.
Okay. Okay, fine. Oh, we're not fine. He's unconscious. I'll be able to lift him up. I'm just gonna kill this one. Okay, so we have to go heal up, which sucks. I was hoping to be able to do this more efficiently. The reason that I'm having so much trouble right now is actually because I'm trying to shave off time, and the fact that I'm doing it this way is actually hurting my time. So I'm actually going to reload back to here. I think that from a practical perspective, because I need to get this done within the first few hours, because I need to get all the way finished by the time I get to the other place. So I think I could hang out on that cliff. That might be the way to do it. Because you want a semi-controlled burst. But honestly, I think I'm better off not even having the semi-controlled burst. I think I'm better off doing it this way. I'm going to do it this way. So this is restoring the HP. And then we will give her SP up. I don't even need SP on her, so that was silly. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop over here, and we're going to grab the haste pedestal, and we're just going to go all in total craziness and try to do this as quickly as humanly possible. So with haste active,
That was easy.
we should be able to kill them faster, and we have a bunch of extra HP.
That was easy.
Ow!
That's
to play with.
Ow!
So yeah, brute forcing it like this is probably the best strategy. It saves time, and it's actually not that bad from a perspective of consolidation because they don't really have that much time to consolidate on me.
Ow! Ow, too easy.
Haste has 58 minutes left.
Ow!
The only problem with doing it this way is that by doing it this way, I'm basically going all in on haste because I can't really cure the weakness.
That was too easy.
So since I can't really cure the weakness, I end up putting myself in kind of a weird... That's interesting. These have different stuff in them. It's very weird. Why do these have different stuff in them? They should have... Huh. They should have started with the same stuff they did last time because this is just me reloading the same file. Those chests are populated weirdly. So... Okay, so we're all set. We've got how much? 2,300. So we need a little bit more to be able to get the thing on everybody. How's our time looking? Time is looking like trash. But I guess I could do this in a few sequences instead of just in like 2. Reactivate the haste pedestal to prevent the weakness effect from coming into play. And what am I going to do now? There's a chest over here we can grab. It's 11 a.m. We only have a few hours. Okay, we are all set. We can get learning on everybody now, which is good. And once we've got learning on everybody,
Welcome to the Air Guild.
we are all set for that. So, I want to do... Okay, we're going to go through the thinger, I think. We need to grab the pedestal at some point. And we've got the seashell. We have several pieces of this puzzle, so we could hypothetically get through this by...
This doesn't look too dangerous.
You're right. Let's do this.
Bring on a bigger challenge.
Okay, I'm just gonna go as aggro as humanly possible here. See how far I can get.
2.
That one's done. 43 minutes already. We are not going to be able to finish this place. Okay, that was really dumb of me.
I'm gonna die.
These have way, way more HP than I gave them credit for. How's our time looking? 27 minutes left. Can I make it? I don't know if I can make it or not, but we'll find out. I should have reactivated this before I...
What a scratch.
Oh, did you get wrecked? I just killed my cleric. God damn it. But you know what? Oh, no, we haven't actually leveled up with her. Even though she has... Damn, that sucks. That's funny. That's very funny to me. I am easily amused, but that's still just legitimately funny. Okay, did not actually give her this.
Okay.
And then it randomly doesn't knock me out, that's funny. Alright, so let's see. Will I get to the haste pedestal in time? And would I have gotten there in time if I hadn't fucked around for a few minutes in advance? Yes. If I hadn't fucked around in advance, I would have definitely gotten there. And I still managed to get there in time. So I actually have a lot of time here. So you're gonna heal yourself. Heal myself. So maybe I do have enough time here. I thought I had close to 2 hours. I don't have close to 2 hours. I have just over 1. Let's try this again. So we're just popping in and out of here. The problem is that because my body magic skill is only 1, I can't actually cure the weakness on every single party member. Even with 2, I don't think I can cure everybody's weakness all at once.
That was easy.
Okay, so the bats are incoming.
That was easy.
Oh shit. Was not expecting to miss that many times. To be sure. Where are you at, friend? Where are you at? There you are. Come here. Okay. Is that everybody in here? It shouldn't be. There's another pack right here. Okay. And now we have 40 minutes left. Oh shit! Wasn't paying enough attention.
Ow!
Okay. It's like, what? There's no way I was close enough for that. I don't think I've ever seen myself get hit with one of the ranged attacks and diseased from it. So I don't know if it's actually possible for that to happen, but hopefully not. Jeez. Hello, friend. Please die. Thank you. Okay. So we're actually all set. We're going to run into this guy now. How are we doing? We have 16 minutes of haste, so I'm actually going to go ahead and save it here. Because, again, we're not doing like a roguelike
I'm
right
not sure what it is.
Just kind of
I don't know.
That's a nice mace. It's going to give a +2 once I can equip it.
I don't know. No space.
Okay, here's the hat, and I'm actually not going to loot the rest of this chest first.
Greetings.
I'm going to go ahead and keep my hat, thank you. And you're going to attack me, and then I'm going to kill you. Then you're going to attack me. I'm going to kill you. And then I'm going to run to the other side and hopefully be able to kill these guards before I get the weakness satisfied. Done, and... Haha, there we go. Okay, so we've killed almost everything in this area. We have a couple of rats in this room that we should be able to take out with no problem. Can you imagine if I got diseased here? How sad that would be. Okay, so there is another rat here. Oof, that was close. I almost got myself diseased, but I didn't because I'm a talented individual. Okay, we're all set. So now we are going to pop over here. It is now 1:46, so we've done this with quite a bit of time to spare, actually. There's going to be no trouble getting to the training place now. So
I can't identify that.
we've now got 2,000 in the bank.
Ow.
Oops, I tried to jump over that and apparently did not succeed in jumping. I'm cool like that. We have plenty of time to come back through here to loot all these corpses and all the stuff later, but I think we actually have plenty of time to do it now as well. So we're going to go ahead and loot this stuff. Loot the room. We have 3 hours to get out of here and get into the training hall, which is plenty of time. Plenty of time. So we got a blue potion. Alright, there is usually an item up here, so I'm gonna pop up here and see what's up here. There's nothing today. I don't think I looted the item. Now, I could, if I want, try to use the haste pedestal on the dragon, but I don't think it's worth it, because I don't think I'm going to kill the dragon quickly enough. I could test with it, though. We could test it out, see how it goes. Trying to murder the dragon with haste would pretty sizably speed up the encounter, maybe. Either that or it'll have no impact at all, you know, whichever. So, we can pick up the merchant skill on the rest of the characters now if we want. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So, merchant skill is picked up, and now we have the Stromies. Let's see, do I want to turn in some of these things? I think I do. I'm going to go ahead and turn in a bunch of this crap just to get some extra experience.
His Grace, Lord Markham, Duke of the Western Lowlands.
Okay, so we got enough to level up twice. And there we
Need
go.
some training?
So, we can also learn bodybuilding if we want. But we're not gonna
That's
do
the
that
ticket. That's the ticket. That's the ticket.
yet. Okay, so we got 2 levels on everybody. We are, instead of doing normal stuff, oh, I guess we should put the points into spirit magic for her. Yes. Putting points into spirit magic for her will give her the ability to pump her blesses up, which is going to be critical. He's using a spear. We're going to get to expert spear immediately. For you,
I don't know what that is.
who has identify item? Nobody has it yet, though, do they? No. Okay, we need to pick up identify item as a skill. And... bottle. Yeah, I don't think that Nalira needs to pump staff skill right
Can
now.
I help you with anything?
That's not necessary. So we're gonna get identify up.
Thank.
And we can then get at least 2 skill in it. Absolutely.
I don't know what that is.
So this I can...
I can't identify
I
that.
cannot identify
Can't
that.
help. Sorry, I don't know what that is.
I don't
I'm
actually
not
have
sure what it
anybody
is.
with the ability to use that.
I'm not sure what it is.
This
I
is
don't know.
Battle axe.
I can't identify that.
Okay, so you need to keep pumping your identify skill.
Hmm.
So that's a spiked mace. That's a +2 to damage and a +2 to thinger. I'm gonna go ahead and give her
What a piece of junk.
wrong helm, but it's fine.
Hmm.
Okay, give her this. Give her this. And I should have given that to the cleric probably, but it's fine. So she already knows awaken.
Sorry, can't help.
Let's see
I don't know.
here. Anything else that I need
I don't know.
to do?
I can't
something
identify that.
with? Not
I don't know.
to my
I can't identify that.
knowledge. I think we're fine. Okay, so you are going to put some points into probably sword skill. Sword skill isn't as important in the long term, but in the short term right now, it's important that I get as many points into it as possible. She's got spirit magic boosted, and I could get identify item up to expert rank.
I don't know.
Just so that I can identify that.
Hmm.
And that is +5 health. So that's actually very useful, because I can use that to give her... I guess she won't have the same HP, but she'll have closer to the same HP as our other caster. We already looted this, and we are going to go do what now? We have a dragon to kill, so we might as well do that. We need to grab the 2 things. I don't think I'm going to grab the haste pedestal. It's kind of tempting to, but I'm not going to bother, because I want to do it. Well, I guess I need to get all of the rats killed. So there is that. I still have to make with a rat murder. So, do I have a potion for you?
That was lucky.
I do now. Give you your potion.
Greetings.
Okay. So, now we move over here. I am going to heal up my party. There we go. I just realized that this is going to be a really shitty party for dealing with Titans, because I put my 2 least durable characters as female. I don't have an Aldrea in the party. Not having Aldrea in the party is going to really, really hurt me. Because usually I have Aldrea in the party, and often she's the only female, which really just is so useful. Having just your knight as the only person who's female means that Titans just become a lot
This has
easier.
all the makings for adventure.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and activate this guy.
That's just a scratch.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Potion. That's called So we've killed all the rats, and I think I'm going to reset this because they're not
We can
reset
always-
this, but I'm gonna basically get save here, just because I've demonstrated recently that I'm not. Oh, and that is a good demonstration of why I need to save, because it's very easy for me to screw things up because I'm out of practice. I got this weird widescreen mod on. And mostly, I'm just really damn sloppy. Interestingly enough, I think that this thing actually focuses the clerics, which I did not realize. Because this, in the last several attempts, the only person who's ever gotten hit is the cleric. Because yesterday I got hit like 3 or 4 times as well. I was doing better yesterday though than I am today. Really not saying much, but... Okay, so we've brought it down to critical. We are not going to save for this. We are just going to... where the fuck did you go? Done. Okay, so it is substantially harder to do stuff like that while you are talking. It makes it substantially easier to just focus in and just do the kill correctly rather than try to talk and screw
don't know
up
what
your
that
timing
is.
and stuff like that. This isn't
Sorry,
even the
I
highest
don't.
tier of plate armor, which is kind of funny. So we do have a pretty nice piece of armor that we'll be able to use eventually.
I'm not sure what it is.
We can't use it yet, but that's fine. And we can go ahead and turn in the contestant shield now. We can do this, 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 this. And how are we doing here? We've got... We're not even at enough experience to train up to 5 yet, which is a little sad.
His Grace, Lord Markham, Duke of the Western Lowlands.
Oh, so there was a dragon. Okay, and we can go grab the instrument and the seashell, and then we're done. Yes. Okay, we're going to
anything
sell
you
all of
want?
our stuff. We've got all of our party members all set now. Do I want to sell this? It's going to be really easy to identify that. But that being said, this I'll probably be able to identify by the time I get to the point where I would be using it. So, pick up the leather. She should pick up the shield skill here.
Thanks.
And I just sold all those shields because I'm a noob. Forgot that she existed. Okay, well, we just sold all of the shields that we had that would have actually helped her quite a lot.
Sorry. Can't help.
Let's see here. You can equip this. And now she's got 5 extra HP,
Need a new
and
weapon?
we can sell the other crap. Definitely don't need the longbow. That is definitely not a thing we're going to be equipping. Crap mace, don't need. Battle axe, +2 axe. Don't think I'm going to be using it.
Thanks. Come again.
So, we now have 3 grand, and can I pick up a
Need
skill
a new
here that I
weapon?
need? Can I pick up dagger or something? Nope. Okay, so can't pick up daggers here, which is too bad. We can go to the inn though,
Come in.
and learn some of these skills. We need to pick up disarm trap, so we might as well pick that up with a thief. And what's next?
Need some training?
Alright, we can pick up Arms Master on these peeps. Do we want to pick up bodybuilding as well? I think I do. I'm going to pick up bodybuilding. And we can train. We're not going to train quite yet, though. I'm actually really surprised that I only have 1 level's worth of EXP. Did I get the loot? I don't think I bought the loot yet.
Hello.
Okay. Is that the only thing we have left? Red potion. Oh, apparently I gave away my only red potion.
Anyone thirsty?
Okay, so we are finishing up the thing here, and then we can head on out of
His
here.
Grace,
I am
Lord
going
Markham,
to level up
Duke of the Western
before I
Lowlands.
leave, which is not the optimal thing to do from a perspective of so close, but I can do it. Hey Ashcore, how's it going? We are doing the murder time today. Murder, murder, murder. Were you here for me killing the dragon? Oh, looks like 1 second. AFK. There's a delivery. I have returned. That's very sad. You just missed me killing the dragon. It was very hard and so much skill was demonstrated. It was I died twice. It was really sad and pathetic. It's not that hard. Not that hard. Let's see.
That was easy.
Now it's time to murder dragonflies. Dragonflies need to die.
Killed
Kill
it.
the
Ow.
dragonflies. Kill the dragonflies. Okay. So. Killing all the dragon balls. Interestingly enough, it looks like the spawns here on subsequent days doesn't give you a complete spawn. It gives you like a maybe half or quarter spawn. Alright, so we murdered all these again, and that does not get us to level 5 with her. 14 more experience. More experience. Get wrecked, scrub. That's all I can say to that. Time to murder the entire town, I guess. I'm not going to murder the town. We're just going to level up to 5 with everyone else and only level up to 4 with her. That's perfectly fine.
That's the ticket. That's the ticket.
So we've got ourselves capped out for this location. Yeah. Just kill 14 random peasants. I could just kill one of the dudes in the other area, but I'm not going to do that. Let's see. Do I get expert mace in the next area? I do not remember. So what we're going to do is we're going to pump disarm with you, so we can get that up to expert. We're going to need dagger expert soon. I probably should have just bumped this to 3. I don't know that I need 4 quite yet, but any skills that we need to pick up right now? I don't think so. I think we're ready to go to the next area. All right, so we're going to hop over to Harmondale, and then we will start clearing out that.
Welcome aboard! Congratulations, my friends. Your new castle is located in Harmondale,
Yes, it
a
is.
peaceful village on the edge of the elvish kingdom of Tularia, but firmly within human territory.
Firmly.
Though there are many privileges to being the lord of this estate, there are many responsibilities as well. Public safety, for example. And oh, I almost forgot. Goblins have taken an interest in your new lands. I'm sure brave adventurers such as yourselves will have no trouble with them. So, enjoy your new home. May you rule your lands wisely.
Weirdly enough, you could actually create a party that's just all goblins, and then, you know, it'd be just like, well, I mean, can't I just, like, negotiate? Parley! The time has come for parley! Alright, so we have a bunch of stuff going on here. We can pick up some business if we want. Filters and elixirs is exciting. Yes. Yes, my friends. Yes. Such yes. Okay. I'm not a crazy person, but where did you get that idea? I am perfectly normal. Okay, so we can't play Arkmode yet. We can talk to this guy about the beacon fires. And we can realize that, oh crap, I don't have an unlimited amount of thinger anymore. Oh, I can actually identify this already? That's impressive.
I can't identify that.
Can't identify.
Probably
I
don't know
can't
this stuff.
identify that.
Yeah. I'm not going to be able to actually do that until I get to Arathia, though. So, anything that we need to do off the bat? Oh, Bless only affects a single target by default.
That's a scratch.
Ow!
So we got a couple of hobgoblins down. What am I going to do here? I am now limited in resources in a way that did not occur to me until just now. I need to be careful. So I have about a full level to get. Making my character's level up to 5 was definitely something that's going to hurt me overall. Makes my life harder, not easier. But that's how we roll. So Lawrence and Program Master. We have... If I could get Spirit Expert, that would be really useful, but I don't have any money because I spent it all. This is Watergram Master. I don't remember what this is over here. Leonard Skinner. Ooh, God, you are such an attractive man. So hot. Do I want to try to clear out Goblin Watch first? This is not Goblin Watch. It's Castle Armadale. Oh, the new lords! Please excuse the condition of the castle. It's been quite a while since anyone's taken proper care of it. I would have greeted you indoors, but for the goblins. A small tribe of them has moved inside there. I've asked them to leave, but they won't listen to me. They were quite rude, as a matter of fact. Perhaps you could talk to them? I'll be in the On the House Tavern here in Harbondale, should you manage to convince them to leave. I fear that talking will fail with these goblins, my lords. May I suggest violence? Might I suggest a wee bit of violence?
Let's go!
Yeah, let's do this. Right, so, hey friend.
Bring on a bigger challenge.
I think they can shoot through those piles. They can walk through them, so they can definitely shoot through them. Shoot. That's right. Okay, fine. I'm gonna hug the left side here so I only aggro ones from the left, and I failed at that. It looks like right side aggroed anyway. So we've got some friends here.
Ah, that was easy.
On the plus side, the rats are so short that their projectiles are shooting upward, which means that it's much less likely to hit you if you're far away, because you just have to move a little bit back and you're set. So we should be able to probably clear this here, I think.
Ow!
Oh shit. Okay, I don't think you can get diseased from their projectiles, but I could be wrong. And I don't really want to be wrong. So I'm going to try to dodge the projectiles as well. Okay, that's unfortunate. Okay. Oh shit! What?
Ah, what a scourge.
Cursor. Okay. That's close. So that had to be. Okay. We got more rats. Can I run into some goblins, please? These goblins can't disease me. Okay. Yellow and yellow. Who needs accuracy the most? Oh shit. I can press A. I know where that button is. Okay. And we're set. More rats.
2.
Okay, we got rats from the other side coming as well. Just gonna dive forward a bit. Easy peasy. Okay, so you have disarm. You first. You have that? Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. I remember how this layout is. Oh shit. Okay, those are just thingers. Jeez.
Ow!
So we still have not actually diseased ourselves. Oh, Jesus! Everything's fine. Why would it be fine? Everything's fine. Oh, fuck. Everything's fine. I'm telling you, man. Everything totally fine. 100%, 127% fine. Let's see. Okay. Come on, buddy. Okay, set up. Oh, man. Okay, we're set. Anybody else in here? No. Perfect. Okay, that's a red barrel. We definitely want to pick that up with her. And how about you? Blue, purple, yellow, green. So let's get yellow and green. I think I'm going to go with Ash because
I don't know.
he doesn't need HP as much as the others, but he gets more from these than the other characters do. So I'm actually going to save. I'm not going to screw myself, hopefully, but you never know. Okay, we now cleared half of this place. Purple and orange, so orange and a done. How about the green? Shouldn't there be more right on the other side? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save this again, make sure that I do in fact have sufficient. This is my thief,
Disarm. I
and
don't know
that
what
is
that is.
disarmed, so we're all set.
It's disarmed. Sorry.
Oh,
can't
nice. We got a broadsword. That's a slight upgrade for him, because broadswords are simply superior to normal swords. And now we are ready to go into the next place. We're doing pretty dang good, actually. Haven't had too much trouble here so far, but we don't get any XP at all until we complete the whole area, so that was way more enemies than I should have added. On the plus side, the rats are way faster.
Ah, what a screw.
Ow! Ow!
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Okay, fine.
Ah, what
Ow.
a screw.
What? How did I get hit by another? I had a wall in my way. Oh, hello. All set. So how far am I going to need to go?
Ow!
Oh boy.
Ah, what a scratch.
Shouldn't have healed him. I actually should have had her heal herself. Okay. Where are you at? So far away. Gotcha. Okay. Whew. Goblinoids are pretty rough. They hit really hard for this point in the game. I almost just diseased myself. That would have been bad. Okay, it looks like we've got quite a few friends behind us. Do I have over 1 grand. I could actually.
Ah,
Oh boy.
you'll have to do better than...
Might be a good idea to do that actually.
Ow!
That one's toast.
Ow!
Okay, we're set. Done. Whew, boy. Okay. There's a rat here. I'm actually going to save this. We're getting pretty close to being done here. And... Okay, you wandered off completely, and then came back, which is kind of weird. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. great. Okay. So she got knocked out, but she's fine. Looking at the ground when there's things in the air. Okay. It's 236.
I don't know.
How are you doing? Orange. Purple. And blue. Okay, I guess I should probably take this. Save this. I'm honestly a little shocked that I have not managed to get myself diseased yet.
Ah, what a smoke.
Fuck. Okay. Whew. It's rough. Rough times. Okay. So, there's gonna be more here. A lot more here. Oh no. No. Okay, so here's the bat. Get you.
Yeah, that was easy.
Okay. Shit. That's literally my last heal available right now. So, this is a serious problem.
Ow!
Okay. We lucked into that thing hitting her instead of someone else. But that's a wrap, it looks like. This is the entire pack. And what time is it? It's 3 o'clock, yellow and blue. And we are all set for right this moment. We're gonna pop out of here. And we are going to turn in this quest. Hopefully turning in this quest gives us enough EXP to level, but I don't think that it will, which is a problem. Today isn't Sunday, is it? It's fine. So since I'm probably not going to level up off of this, that leaves me in a pretty rough position.
Come in, come in.
I did level up with everybody off of this. Everybody's eligible for level 6. Whew. Okay. So, I was a little concerned there for a little bit, but we're all fine. We've got this. So, we used a lot of resources there. Whoa, that is a lot.
That's the ticket.
It's a lot more money all of a sudden. Let's see here. I should have pumped my body magic. That was silly of me. Let's see here. I don't remember what characters are available here. Let's see.
I can't identify that.
Oh, and we have the thingers. Okay, so we can pick up the alchemy skill if we want. Do I think I can get expert dagger over here. No. That's not the right place for it. So we got the fruit trees. There's unarmed and various other things here. So this is leather, this is a staff. This is identify item expert, so let's get that actually. Shane Thomas.
I can't identify that.
Let's see, anything that I need to identify other than these? No. So that's fine. Let's get this quest. You are unarmed and dodging. Yes, yes. Okay. So, Now I need to figure out where I'm going to go from here, because I have a lot of EXP to get before I get to my next level, probably. Yeah, I have 5,000 EXP, which means optimally I would want to complete a quest, which kind of implies that I should go after the Trog dungeon. Let's see here. I have actually a bunch of stuff that I should be selling. And the eyeball amulets I'm going to keep for enchanting later,
I
because
don't know.
they can be enchanted. And I should have sold those in the previous place, probably. That's fine though. So this is the self magic, folks, right? Here's expert spirit. Expert spirit is only 1,000. And there's expert body here. Yes, 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 yes. Okay. Do I have enough to get expert spirit? I do. I'm gonna. The problem is that if I get expert spirit, and I'm spending money on spirit spells, I'm not spending that money on healing. The advantage is that I get more of an attack boost, which is quite valuable. I'll just pop over here. I can get Disarm Trap Master here, but I can't get Disarm Trap Expert, so there's 3 people here. Water and Earth membership are right here. And you have that quest. There we go. And this, I think, gives you a... This is actually useful, right? Yes. This is hugely useful. That would have changed my entire life if I had done that before I went in there. Okay, Earth Expert. That's good to know. And you are Perception, Identify Monster. And Axe Expert, Sword Grandmaster. So, Spear Expertise, I don't remember where I need to go for that. Probably Arathia. Probably question mark. So there's a thing right there. We're not going to go for that one yet, I don't think. Am I? Yeah, I think I'm actually going to pop into the dungeon immediately. I don't have Cure Poison. Oh, I don't have any elemental weapons either. So what is my plan? What is my plan? I need to get access to Flame Aura before
It's disarmed.
I can clear that dungeon.
Sorry, can't help.
That doesn't mean that
What
I
a
can't
piece
go
of junk.
in, but it does mean that I'm not going to be able to finish it until I get Flame Aura.
I can't identify that.
That's... So... Let's take a look here. Go, Goblin Lord's Toast.
Ow!
Ah, but a scratch.
That was easy.
Yeah, so Goblin Lord's
Ah,
down.
but a scratch.
There's a lot of higher level ones here.
Ah, but a scratch.
Oh, I didn't use the AC thing either.
Ow!
Ow!
Okay, so I don't know why I'm bothering to try to like the dodge mechanics that don't work on these kinds of creatures. Let's see. Go.
Ow!
That was too easy.
Ow!
Ah, but a scratch.
And that's why apparently. They do more damage in melee. Okay, so we're here. We've got oh Jesus. Oh my God.
That's just scratch.
Okay. Did I pump mine a lot? I did not. I'm gonna pump body to expert. Here's a question. Does that actually matter? Yes, it does. So I should have pumped that before I started healing people at all, but it's fine. Let's see here. Anything we can do in here?
Perhaps a worthy challenge awaits us.
Ow!
Run away! So we did not manage to burst any of those down. I'm gonna try to get to this one. I don't know how much HP these have, but the answer appears to be not that much. Still too much though. Okay. So we'll be able to do some proper like melee kiting soon, but we need to get through this initial section first. Okay. So pop back in. So there's these two here. That's good to know. I should have. I need to. I can't do this without.
What a
I need to
scratch.
do.
Let's go.
I need bless for this. So, what do I want to do about this? I've got 4 skill in body right now. I think I'm going to transition over to pumping spirit again. I might even just pump spirit twice. Get it up to 6. If I can get spirit up to 6, then I can get access to a pretty long-lasting AoE boost to my attack power.
That's just a scratch.
Goblin Lord down, but I don't really want to be fighting these guys right now because I keep missing.
Ow!
Oh shit. Fine.
Ow!
Forget about that. Okay, now is the time to charge straight on through.
Ow!
What a scratch.
We're gonna take a bunch of damage here. Oh no, I forgot about this.
Ow! Ow!
What a scratch.
That's just a scratch.
Alright, I'm actually gonna reload for this, I think. Oh, do I want to? I'm all the way. Okay. I forgot about the swordsman. I don't want to get the swordsman killed. I don't like getting the swordsman killed. Okay, I'm gonna actually reload all the way to this autosave because I forgot about the swordsman. So what do I want to do about the swordsman? So there's multiple packs of them, and getting back without getting too. I don't know if there is a path back that doesn't involve going past those. Either those swordsmen or the other pack. If I can get through without activating those swordsmen, then I can get bless to expert. At which point I should be okay. I'm gonna grab this bonfire thing over here first. It's further this way, I think. Can I climb up there? remember exactly where this is. There it is. Okay, so we're set here. And now we can... I'm going to see if I can climb up here. If I can climb up this side, then I can actually get back. And it looks like, yes, I can. So if I can get back up here, that means I can bypass the middle area with all those goblins for now, which will allow me to come back to them when I am powerful enough to kill the goblins before they start killing off the guards, which is, of course, very important. And by very important, I mean very important only to me, because I am a weirdo, and that's that. Okay, so I'm going to pop a horseshoe. So we've now got 6 spirit magic skill. And the other thing I'm going to do... Oh, fuck. I lost all my momentum there. I think jumping works differently in 7 than it does in 6. Not positive, but I don't remember losing my momentum like that in the past. Let's see here. Did I get the... Interesting. I did not grab the thing in Goblin Watch, apparently. It's fine. Next we have... What? I guess next we have me making an attempt on the next... Oh, you know what? You know what spell exists that I forgot exists is Regeneration, which is just going to be God tier. But I actually need to go AFK for a second because I don't think my wife realized that the food has arrived. So I'm going to go AFK for a second, and I might actually end here. We'll see. Just a second. And I return. Hey, Poutine. Yeah, the green screen, you know, it's variable. The lighting in my room is not consistent, so since I don't have consistent lighting, it fluctuates quite dramatically. What I really need is just some blaring lights to shine directly at me so that I can have consistent lighting, but I don't really want to put that in my living room. I don't really feel like having even more crap in my living room than I already do. Singapore is a very, you know, small, tight-knit place. Everything is pretty confined. Alright, so what am I going to do here? I need... Let's see. Yeah, I figure that the face cam thing can be fun. I actually like puttering around with, like, shall we say, suboptimal green screen. I like kind of just messing around with it because it gets funny. Like, I like messing with the green screen by putting on, like, a green shirt and stuff like that. I just wish that I had a better green screen setup so that I could do one extreme or the other, right? Where it's like, if I want to mess with the green screen, then I'll mess with the green screen, and if I don't want to mess with the screen, then I will,
Too easy.
not. Let's see. Yeah, that's actually pretty fair as well. Having to turn on the lights to stream is kind of annoying. I should have been poisoned or diseased by now, by the way. How on earth have I gotten this lucky? Because I'm pretty sure even the drones can poison you. Whoa.
Ow!
So... we're not going to be able to clear this dungeon out immediately, because we still don't have what we need for that. But... we can make some progress here at the very least. Yeah, I usually do, but I've been working on my skills over the last several years, and so, generally speaking, I don't have to save scum that much to protect myself from the poison and disease anymore. It's usually just like one or two applications over the course of the game. Ooh. So, question here is, we've got this quest done. Do we now want to... I think we want to go out and do stuff in the main area, because that's going to be resource intensive, but isn't going to give me any risk of having a fail state. So we're going to go out here. And, well, I say that there's a little bit of risk. The Goblin Lords have the ability to hit hard enough that they could potentially knock out my cleric.
Bring on a bigger challenge.
Oh, no, come back. Okay, fine. But yeah, avoiding getting disease and stuff like that in this one is not actually nearly as hard as in Might Magic 6. Because in 6, like, the initial area has hundreds of those things to deal with in the first area, and you have no consistent way of
That was easy.
really instigating most of them. Whereas in this one, like Might Magic 7, you not only have fewer total enemies to deal with, just generally, because there are fewer enemies in each area, it's less of a spam. But even in addition to
What a
that,
piece of junk.
you start out the game with the Day of the Gods pedestal available. And that just completely changes the dynamic, because you just have so much, damage output, and your armor class actually goes through the roof as well. So that changes the dynamic. There's a lot of stuff that plays in to make that first area a lot easier. That being said, because the first area is so small, there are actually some unfortunate consequences to that. So because that first area is so small, you do run into certain problems where you're not really that high level, and more importantly, you don't have any, like, you don't have any gear when you get to this location. So when you finally get to Harmondale, you're fighting relatively stronger enemies, like substantially stronger enemies. The goblins in this game are much harder than the goblins in the previous game. But you're fighting these harder enemies, but you do not have the Day of the Gods pedestal. You don't have the bonuses that you had in the previous area, which makes it so that all of a sudden it scales up. I think that the difficulty fluctuates a bit. I did kill the dragon. It took me 2 attempts. No, it took me 3 attempts this morning because I was playing badly. But I did kill the dragon. The dragon isn't too difficult to kill, honestly. It's I got some armor, but the dragon is not terribly difficult. So I would say that Might and Magic 7 is probably harder to... I don't know. I don't know that I would say that any part of Might and Magic... No. The one thing that's harder about Might and Magic 7, and this, when you're doing an Arc mode, this is something that is a huge limiting factor, is that it's actually much harder in Might and Magic 7 to get a coherent path established in the first place. And if you follow the rules as written that I've developed, Might and Magic 7 is actually much harder, because before pretty much any character can get their first promotion, you're already dealing with Titans. Because basically, you know, just about every class requires going to the Barrow Downs in order to get to in order to get their classes done. And so since basically everyone requires going to either the Barrow Downs, or I guess some classes only have to go to Avley, but even then, Avley and the Barrow Downs both require that you fight Titans. Barrow Downs, there's no Titans in the Barrow Downs itself, but if you go through the Barrow Downs without getting to like a real like cross-country transition, you go all the way to the Land of the Giants. So as soon as you get to the Barrow Downs, you're already in endgame territory if you follow the rules as written, which is obviously a massive thing. So you have to kind of figure out arbitrarily where you're going to end things. But even if you go all the way to Nyone but don't go any further than Nyone, you're already dealing with like sizable
Thanks. Come again.
difficulties. Double Paladin in Might and Magic 7, it would be a weird thing to do. Might and Magic 7, the hybrids are a lot worse than they are in
anything you
Might
want?
and Magic 6. In Might and Magic 6, there's not really any meaningful disadvantage
Thanks a lot.
to being a hybrid, so you
I'm
just
not sure what it
go
is.
all in on
What a
hybrids.
piece of junk.
In this one, the hybrids have
I don't know.
honestly very little purpose. They're not.
I don't know. I'm not sure what it
great.
is. What a
That's
piece of
that said.
junk.
While the hybrids are not generally that amazing, they are not
I don't know.
terrible, with the exception of the Ranger. The Ranger is just bad. It's just a bad class. It wasn't well designed. The other classes are actually pretty solidly designed, though. The Archer has very solid melee capacity and is the most overpowered ranged character in the game. Like, the amount of death that an Archer in this game can create is astronomical. It goes beyond belief. But so there's that. Do I want to get her to 4? I can't get her expert fire.
Welcome to the Fire Guild.
And fire ore is available. And do I want to buy this? I don't know if I do or not.
Welcome
I guess
to
I'm
the
going to do
Fire
it
Guild.
just so that I have the ability to actually
I don't
complete
know.
this.
I can't wait to use this.
Because I need the ability to do that. I can probably put it on for... I could just dump her up to 6 points if I wanted to. That might be valuable. Let's see. Just have a 6-hour duration on that aura. Let's see. How many spell points do you have? 34. It's not too bad. So it's now 5:46. We probably are gonna have to spend the night out. So let's try 2.5 sources. Yeah, I don't think that there's any reason for me to try and level up now. Turning in and leveling up would be bad for me. I'm gonna need the ability to
Ow.
train later. So if I turn in my quest right now, that would be bad for me. Oh, you know what I will do though? I'm gonna go do the thinger. But yeah, Double Knight makes a lot of sense. The only issue with this one is because so many of the secondary skills are limited, it actually majorly limits what kind of parties you can have. Because you really need to have certain skills. And there are so many classes that simply don't get access to secondary skills that it really hurts things. Like, I tried to do a party where I replaced the sorcerer. I did, like, dual knight and then cleric and archer, which I thought was kind of a cool sort of pseudo-endgame focused build. But I couldn't do that because by replacing the sorcerer with an archer, I eliminated the identify item skill from my party completely, which is obviously not good. Oh shit! These guys died. I got too close. I forgot about them. No! Please tell me that I didn't do that too recently. Let's see. Knight, Cleric, Sorcerer, Monk is okay. I think it's just objectively inferior to Thief instead of the Monk, because the Thief will do more damage for the entire game. There's no point where the Monk catches up to the Thief. So there's really not a lot of reason to use a Monk over a Thief. And the Monk also has worse secondary skills.
Ow.
So there's not really a huge amount of reason to go with a party like that. Just because, again, the way that the class system in this game works is just inherently very restrictive. It's sort of just inherently hostile to using, shall we say, more interesting setups. Oh, god damn it. I didn't click on him. Why does it do that? So the thing about it is that I would not say that the classes are necessarily very well designed, if that makes any sense. So the Monk has access to self-magic, whereas the Thief has access to elemental magic. The Monk has the advantage that they are free, basically. They don't require any gear. I do think that the Monk, in the extreme late game, I think that the stuff that gives you of unarmed skill might actually get the Monk a little bit more powerful than the Thief in terms of damage in the extremely extreme late game. Is like maybe I don't remember. I'd have to do the math again. But from a practical perspective, the weapon damage difference between the two of them is not going to be really usurped at pretty much any reasonable point in the game. I don't remember my Monk ever getting ahead of my Thief, and I was like ridiculously high level. So I need you assholes to like activate. Can you do that for me? I want just you. Why aren't they activating? Okay. Well, at least one has. We have two activated now. Oh. So my goal here is to sort of whittle down the enemies around these guys. Nope, there's a dead guard already. So, is there any way for me to protect that guard from being killed? Because I think that he got killed by the explosion. Life is sad. Life is sad. You know what? I'm not going to worry about the guards for right now. I have enough shit on my plate. The guards later. Those two will be able to deal with... or not.
Ow!
Oop.
Okay.
Ah, what a scrap.
Okay, you know what? I'm not going to worry about it. Life is sad. I think this is the first time that I've actually allowed myself to get these guys killed. I don't know how I managed to prevent it last time.
Ow! Ow!
What a scrap. Ah,
Okay, so give a basic like rundown on the way that the classes work. From a practical perspective, I think that most of the classes are reasonably okay. They're within spitting distance of each other in terms of overall like usefulness. Like you can totally use a monk, and it's basically like having a thief, only a little shittier, right?
Ow.
Like they're just not quite as good as a thief, but they're still very solid characters. They still do quite a lot of damage, and they're not bad at all. They're not bad. The archers and paladins actually have some really strong utility, particularly in a dark side party, because in a dark side party they give you access to the basic dark skill, and basic dark skill is all you need. You don't need more than baseline dark. You don't need expert or anything like that. The only spell that matters is the one that gives you a lifesteal weapon. That's really the only spell that a dark side party needs from the dark tree, and you'll be totally fine. So a dark side party doesn't necessarily need a cleric or a sorcerer. The issue that you run into is... the first issue is, of course, the secondaries, right? So the secondaries are way, way more limited than you'd think. There's a lot of classes that simply don't get access to either disarm or identify, or pretty much disarm and identify, I think, are the two major ones. But disarm and identify because, as an example, clerics and knights don't get access to identify item at all, and neither do archers, which means that you can't build a party using just those classes. Which is, unfortunate. Having a thief in the party pretty much gets you covered for most of the secondary skills, which is nice. And you can generally get by if you have a lot of hybrids. The primary issue is that if you're going for more of like an optimal party, you're really going to want to have a sorcerer and a cleric in the party for access to Grandmaster enchant item and Grand Mastery of body magic for protection from magic. Those two things are actually critically important to your endgame potential, which means that you now have these two characters that have very clear weaknesses in terms of what they can do. If you add a knight into the party, then you now have no ability to disarm traps if you're just doing like dual knight or something like that. So if you want the best like late game output, you're kind of trapped into having like 3 party slots dedicated just to covering some basic stuff. And it's just kind of unfortunate. I feel like there's too much
I disarmed it.
There's too much in terms of skills that are absolutely
I don't know what
required.
that is.
That I get, and again, you can get by if you use
It's disarmed.
if you use hirelings. then you don't
know what
actually
that
need
No,
the
I can't
identify skill.
identify that.
Right? Like, you don't need
No
the
room.
identify skill. You technically don't need disarm trap either. You can just eat the traps. There's a lot of things that you can do, but they're things that I can't do because they go against the spirit of the run in a lot of meaningful ways. So it's basically a personal problem. It's not a problem necessarily with the design inherently. But the but the hirelings only remove the issues with the secondary skills. You don't ever run away from the problem that you have with sorcerer and cleric being basically required because they bring unique utility to the party. Cleric much more so than sorcerer. Sorcerers aren't as important as a cleric is. But if you don't bring a cleric, then you don't get access to being immune to instant death, which is just like
What a
out of control. Let's see here. Yeah, and the thing about the unlimited item identification that's kind of interesting is that that's, in practice, that's just saving you some money. It might, in the long run, that character might actually not be worth it from an economic perspective because you're going to be giving them a pretty large portion of your money rather than just giving it to the thingamabobbers, rather than giving it to a hireling. Because your hireling's taking a portion of all the money that you make. But that's more of like a late game thing. In the early game, it's almost certainly going to be more efficient to have the scholar. I don't know how much they cost because I haven't actually picked up hirelings in a long time. I have really botched
Ow.
this, by the way. I'm in a very bad position. Not just in this fight, just in the overall playthrough. I've done a bad job so far. There's two guys here.
Ow!
Oh, that's bad. And that's okay. That's GG right there. Okay. Ooh. I have screwed with myself. What do I want to do here? I could take over the fort. Yeah, giving Master Merchant to everyone is really useful. In my runs, even like challenge runs, every single time I always give myself Master Repair on every character eventually. Like I always have repair because it's just such a nuisance to move all the equipment around.
That was too easy.
That is a lot of friends.
That was too easy.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine.
What a scratch.
Ow!
We don't have a steadily increasing number of goblins inside of our base. I don't know where you got that idea. Where did you get that idea?
What a scratch.
Ow!
That was too easy.
No.
What a
Could be
scratch.
worse.
It could be worse, but it would be hard for it to get there. Let's see. So I aggroed all of the other things. Yeah, for my purposes, I haven't found Merchant to be as useful since I've played, as I get like further into my sort of like magic career, so to speak. Just because, like, for my purposes, I find that oh, I should probably pick up the boost. I find that when you're just killing literally everything in every area before you move on, within, like, a few different areas, maybe like by the third or fourth area, you just end up with so much freaking money that you don't have anything to do with because you can't get to the places where you would be getting the higher tier skills and stuff like that. So I found that as I get further along, I end up with less and less use for money. Just because I end up just with so much of it. Because the way that I used to play the game back in the day, I got a pretty sizable portion of my experience from thingers. Where's my book? Wait, did I not buy that book? I did not buy the book. Well, shit.
I can't identify that.
That's a whoopsies. Mistakes were made. Alright, we're gonna save this. Oh, man, I had forgotten how rough the just slog through all these enemies are. Because there's like no quests here to speak of. There's like 2 of them, so you have to slog through a lot of enemies to get through this part. This is a part where it would be really useful to have 2 self-magic users. Like, it would be very, very useful to have 2 self-magic users here. But there's only 2 quests in the whole zone. So that really hurts quite a bit. Oh, you know, the chest that I didn't open yet. I know where they are now. Let's see. Do we have any... So it's 10 p.m. We have quite a few hours to go before we're able to continue, which is unfortunate. I feel like I might need to tinker with my build just to deal with the
Disarm. I
beginning
don't
of the
know
game
what that
here.
is. It's disarm. I don't know what that is.
There's no space.
I can't identify it.
You know, I don't
There's
think
no
I do need
space.
to tinker with my build. I think what I need to do is I need to get regen earlier. So, if I had turned in those cards, that would be vaguely useful. Turning in those cards would be useful to me. Because what I could do is, if I just
Do you
have
need medical attention?
a bunch of
Take care. Do you need
Finger
medical
skill.
attention? Take care.
if I have a bunch of body magic skill, which at expert body magic, I mean, I've already got sufficient body magic at that point that I can get this done effectively. That's 4 hours. I could get 6 hours worth of regen, and I don't know why I thought that it was a good idea to wait on that. I should have just done that. Regen just breaks the game. So I should have picked up regen, and then I wouldn't be in this situation at all. I would have been able to just go through and beat the crap out of everything in the exterior area with no problems at all the second that I got here. Okay, so I think I know what I'm going to be doing for the next run then, if I'm going to do a run with this party again. But yeah, I'm actually just going to... I think I'm probably going to be ending soon because this food's getting cold and I need to eat. But I'm going to run through some of the classes and basically give a sort of idea of which classes are useful for what. So basically, the game-breaking element of the Knight class is that the Knights have the highest physical damage output in the game, bar none. They also have a lot of HP. The HP doesn't really matter. The thing that's important is Knights have dramatically more DPS than anyone else in the game, starting somewhere around mid game. And it depends on like how you play the game. If you play the game like without doing like some sort of like extreme weird thing where you're limiting travel, knights get out of control very quickly. If you are doing something where you're limiting travel, it takes a lot longer for the knights to get out of control. But the second you have 7 Arms Master skill and you get to Avli, the knight's out of control. They're never coming back. They're never getting back under control again. They're going to be crazy for the rest of the game. Even once you get to Expert Spear, they're already going to be pretty crazy. But Arms Master is very powerful because it decreases your recovery time while simultaneously increasing your damage. And so knights have the ability to scale so rapidly with Arms Master that they just get really crazy. Now, bear in mind that other classes get Master Arms Master pretty much immediately as well. I think I can actually check on this character. I think that rogues do as well, right? Rogues do as well. The problem is that rogues, I don't think, get access to Expert Spear. So rogues take longer to get as out of control because they don't have a weapon that scales with that scales damage as well. Dual daggers does less damage than a two-handed spear, just by default. So adding in the +4 damage from just getting Expert Spear into it, knights just get really out of control really fast. Okay, so that's the basic gist of why knights are overpowered. So next we're going to go with cleric. Clerics are overpowered because clerics have the ability to, first of all, they can get expert body magic off the bat, which I think druids can as well, right? Yeah, druids can also do that. But the most important thing about clerics that makes them overpowered is not access to light and dark magic, though it is very powerful, at least if you're light side. Dark magic isn't that relevant. But light side magic is very powerful, but more importantly, Grandmaster Protecting from Magic gives you immunity to instant death, which if you don't have that, then there's certain enemies that are always going to have the risk of just insta-giving you, including quite a few of the late game enemies. So that's why clerics are OP. Archers are OP for a few reasons. They're pretty good spellblades, just generally. They have pretty close to the same amount of damage as a thief does or a monk does. They have access to master spear skill, and they have access to... Do they have access to Master Arms Master? I don't think they do, actually. They do not get Master Arms Master. So until later, they are, in the game, they are able to hold their own. But they're much better in melee than something like a sorcerer, just because spear skill is really good. Grandmaster Bow is probably the single most overpowered thing in the game. There is nothing that comes close to how... I should actually do a run where I make 3 archers and a cleric, just to show off how completely out of control archers are. Archers are the most overpowered class in the entire game if you're using them correctly, because Grandmaster Bow is psychotic. So what Grandmaster Bow does is Grandmaster Bow gives you 2 damage per shot on a weapon that can get below the recovery cap. So the recovery minimum is 30. The recovery minimum for bows is 0. So the only thing that you have is UI delay. So with this, you're getting bow damage plus, if you have Grandmaster Bow, you have plus 120 damage per shot, with, functionally speaking, no recovery. You can't get of darkness because it turns out that bows cannot be vampiric, which is unfortunate. So you do need to actually keep the archers alive, but they're killing things so fast that you might take one shot at you. It's very easy to just blow up everything without getting hit when you're firing from range and you're just a god. It's absolutely ridiculous. The thing to remember is in this patch, in the Greyface patch, I think he puts in a minimum delay of 5 for blasters and bows, because blasters and bows have the same recovery minimum instead of 0. Now, when the 0 is, by the way, something like 0.3 or something like that in practice, because there is the UI delay there. But even with 5, you're still hitting 6 times as fast as the fastest knight can can attack. Obviously, with a bow, the knight can shoot, but Armsmaster doesn't affect bows. So the knight isn't that powerful with a bow. Archers with a bow are completely out of control. Like, it takes a while, because you have to get to Grand Mastery before you start adding damage. Right, the master effect of firing 2 arrows per attack isn't really that strong until you add in Grand Mastery, and all of a sudden each of those fired shots is just doing so much extra damage. Anyway, so archers are just completely out of control. And of course, the experts reduce recovery time, which makes it easier to push yourself down to that recovery cap. So that's why Archer is actually the most overpowered class in the game. It's just not that overpowered for the way that I play the game. I guess I couldn't do 3 Archers and a Cleric because of the fact that I have I would need to get some of the secondary skills that Archers don't have access to. But anyway, Paladins are basically similar to Archers, only they have access to mostly better spells. Paladins do have access to mastery for all of the elements, which means that, functionally speaking, if you have a paladin and an archer, it's just as good as having a druid. It's just as good as having a druid. You don't need a druid because you have a paladin and an archer. Paladins are pretty good. I wouldn't consider them overpowered. Like, the first 3 classes, right, I'm like, yes, these things have clear things that make them ridiculous. Paladin does have Grandmaster Mace, which gives you a chance to paralyze enemies equal to the skill, which isn't terrible. But from a practical perspective, it's not that impactful. By the time you actually paralyzed something, it is probably either close to dead, or you have such a high skill in Mace that you are just obliterating things anyway. They would be substantially improved if they could get Mastery of Armsmaster, but I guess if they got that, that would undermine Monks even more than Monks are already undermined by the existence of Thief. But either way, Paladins are pretty good. They're solid. Druids are kind of interesting in that they don't have a specialty, and so they don't have access to some of the stuff that you would get from a cleric and a sorcerer. And because of the fact that they max out at the same position that a paladin and an archer do, they're kind of mediocre. They do get access to Grandmaster Alchemy, but you can literally just buy black potions, and you don't need them en masse. You only need like 1 for each stat, right? So, like, druids, the alchemy side I could see being vaguely useful under certain circumstances, but they have very little advantage, even from an alchemy perspective, over like a sorcerer. You only need expert to get the best potion in the game, which is the hardened item potion. It's the best potion in any of these games is hardened item potion. I will fight you. That's the best potion that's ever been invented, and it's not just because it's the only one that I'm willing to use. I'm only willing to use it because it's the best potion that's ever been invented. So druids are okay. They're not terrible. Spirit magic is actually good enough on its own to make up for the lack of light magic. So if you're on a dark side party, you could have a druid instead of a cleric, and that frees you up to do weird stuff.
I won't let you down.
A while ago, I had a party where I had thief, knight, and monk, and then a druid. This was the party that I went through the game most recently with, and it's perfectly serviceable. If you just pump your spirit magic skill on the druid, it's effectively similar to if you were pumping light magic skill. The only problem is that it doesn't give you a increased duration for haste, but the druid does also get access to haste, so it's not bad. So druids are not a bad class. They're good if you want to just stock all melees, just stack melees for days. You don't want to deal with the actual hybrids, because technically the thief and the monk are hybrids, but in practice they're really not hybrids. They're just melees. They're melees that have access to a couple of spells that you will probably never use. So druids are pretty good, pretty solid. Monks, totally serviceable. They're a little bit more. They're a little bit more useful for their secondary skills than a knight, but they're largely going to be behind the curve for the entire game in terms of their damage output. They really do have substantial limitations on their damage output, just because you need to have a lot of skill, and you need to get, I guess, if you allow yourself to go anywhere you want, and you get access to Master Unarmed really early, and you do a lot of leveling before you get to the higher tier of stuff, the monk can probably start out damaging your knight for a while. I would say that it's totally possible to have a play style that makes it so that the monk surpasses the knight temporarily in the mid game. Not with my play style, because I just simply don't get access to Master Unarmed early enough. But if you did get access to Master Unarmed early enough, and you were able to stockpile enough of that, you could start to make up for the inherent difference that a knight has just from using a spear. Because, like, a spear, just like the baseline spear, is, I think, 2d9 damage. Yes, it's 2d9. And a d9 is 5 damage. 4, 6. Yeah. So it's 5 average damage for each d9. So you need to have 10 extra damage coming out from your unarmed skill just to make up for the damage output of a basic spear. So it takes a lot of skill points to start pulling that around, and so it's very difficult for a monk to actually start to out damage a knight. It's hypothetically possible at certain points during the game, but it's very unlikely. But they do get access to pretty decent secondary skills. They have okay disarm. I think they get access to expert disarm on light side and master on dark side. Either one of them is perfectly serviceable. As long as you've got expert disarm, that's sufficient if you get a good enough disarm item. So monks are perfectly serviceable. They're not bad. I don't think that they're quite as good as thieves. I think that there's kind of a anything you can do, I can do better situation going on with thieves. And the issue that the Grand Mastery for Unarmed has is that it only applies to physical damage, and basically nothing in the end game does physical damage. So it doesn't work on any end game enemies, and it's only usable, it's only useful if you have a lot of unarmed skill and you have Grand Mastery. So it's basically an end game skill, but it doesn't actually have much function in the end game. It's really unfortunate. I did do testing on this to make sure that that's the case in my previous run. But so monks are fine. They're not terrible. I'd say that monks are probably a little bit more effective than druids. In fact, I think they're a little better than druids. Ranger is the worst class in the game. It has no function. It is completely useless. It's a piece of crap, and it's just terrible. The Grandmaster effective axes that gives a chance to have the armor class of your target is not great by any stretch of the imagination. They only get access to expert disarm trap, really? Do you have anything useful that you can do? Are you good with a bow? Nope, you're stuck with a bow too. Because bows suck unless you have Grand Mastery. They're not. It scales weird. So let's see. So yeah, Ranger. I don't think Rangers really have a lot going for them. The Grandmaster skill. If you had more characters available to you, the Grandmaster Axe effect might actually be sufficiently powerful because it's probably going to increase your overall throughput by at least a few percent. For the rest of your characters. So if you had more party slots, then sure, why not? Get them just for this debuff. But because you're so limited in your party in terms of, like, there's so many overpowered things that only one class gets, it's really hard to justify a slot on Ranger because they just don't bring anything to the table that nobody else is bringing. And their axe effect is kind of mediocre, and the rest of their kit is terrible. Sorcerer has access to Grandmaster Enchant Item, which gives you better items than can actually roll naturally. So if you kill dragons, you will get worse items than if you have a Sorcerer enchant them. So the highest tier enchantments are just better than what drops on the ground, so Sorcerers are very useful for that. They also get access to Light Magic, which is vaguely useful, but from a practical perspective, Clerics are much more of a must-have than a Sorcerer, because Grandmaster Body Magic is way more important than Grandmaster Water Magic. So while Sorcerers are pretty nice and pretty handy, they are not that. They're not quite as crazy as a Cleric. But that being said, I do think that pretty much any optimal party is going to have a Cleric and a Sorcerer in it. And probably a Knight. Those three. The Cleric and the Sorcerer are the two most important ones, though. Thief is basically like a Knight, only a little bit crappier at fighting. Just a little bit. They're not that much worse. They're a little bit crappier at fighting, and they are way more useful in terms of their secondary skills. They have basically all the secondary skills they can do well, and that's useful. So basically a Thief tends to just sort of default into the party if you have a lot of primary classes. So that's why it's very common to see Knight, Cleric, Thief, and Sorcerer as a party setup. It's just because the Thief makes up for the fact that the other classes don't have access to any of the secondary skills. But yeah, I'm not actually starting over right now. I am just going through the classes before I end the stream for the day. I'm doing another short stream today because I still have a bit of a headache from yesterday. It's never really gone away, and I'm going to be taking a break. I'm going to be eating some food. I might stream a bit more later. If I do, I actually will be starting over again. But the reason that I need to start over is I forgot about the regen spell. I didn't forget about it. I just didn't think it was going to be that overpowered. I forgot that the duration is 1 hour per skill. So I basically ran myself out of resources, and I could technically continue, but I don't really think there's much point. I should have gotten regen right off the bat, and I didn't. So I'm going to pick up regen on my next attempt. I need to figure out how the game plays again. It's been so long since I did 7, so it's going to take a little bit before I really start getting into the groove again. But anyway, that is going to be it for today. I'm going to get some food, and I'm going to lie down on the couch and hope that my head doesn't murder me. And so, thanks everyone for watching. It's been a pleasure streaming for you today, and die horribly as per usual. And hopefully next time I will be able to one-shot the dragon and one-shot everything and get the regen spell and do all the things that I need to do in order to get through the early game easily. That's it. Better books.